live show. Now today's very awesome because today the DJI Mini 3 Pro release. So we'll be doing the unboxing, the first day in the field, plethora of videos. Y'all have already sent me a huge video to-do list, and I'm working on, well, step one is getting the drone. So I've ordered that. Ordered the Mini 3 Pro ASAP today. And then of course, step two is taking it out of the box. You got to see what's in the box to know what you're going to be flying. And then you got to chart, and you got to familiarize yourself with all the equipment. You got to update the firmware. You should read the owner's manual. Go1, welcome aboard. Go1, long time subscriber of the channel, deeply appreciated. How are you doing? You interested in the Mini 3 Pro? So yeah, Mini 3 Pro is going to be, I'm so excited, man. I mean, I tell you, I was nervous this morning because I was like, well, what if Mini 3 Pro does not release? And I was like, dude, made myself look stupid on the social media if it didn't. So, it's released. It's on the way, man. It is on the way. So I got that coming. Gonna be super excited. I'll keep everyone abreast of the latest. Whoa, what is that? There's like some sort of pneumatic pressure leak, air pressure. Made me jump. I was like, oh shoot, something's gonna go. Yeah, man, there's something like a lot of PSI, pounds per square inch. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, so Mini 3 Pro is gonna be good. And just can't wait to get hands on it. Also, a few questions, working on, I said there's a lot of content coming, obviously the drone, but also the cooking videos, and also the fitness videos, strength training videos. So got a few questions for y'all. Jake, welcome aboard. Jake, always a pleasure to have you, sir. And as always, if you don't know Jake is famous for introducing the world to Terry Peppers, the Terry Peppers foghorn video. If you haven't watched the Terry Peppers foghorn video, you're missing out. So I would say that's Jake's claim to fame. Jake, or Maya, McKenna, and Katie here with you this fine day. Always want to ask and check in. Speaking of fitness equipment, yes, my sisters and girlfriends are here with me, just got off work. There you go, man. You the man. So, Rogue Fitness versus Rep Fitness. So I was researching Rogue. Rogue makes really high quality benches. They make high quality dumbbells and barbells and racks. But there's another brand that, looking at it, and again, I haven't held the other brand in my hand, so I don't know, but it's called Rep, R-E-P. And looking at the build quality on paper and in photos and YouTube reviews, it seems like Rep Fitness could be let's just call it a discount Rogue Fitness. And, building the ultimate home gym, something with quality equipment, gym quality workouts, is that the better choice? Or is it Rogue? Jake says, let's see, 2 fire calls today, 1 large fire at a construction site, 1 for a shed fire. Whoa. Was that Jesse Pinkman's shed by chance? You say shed fire, I think of that. Jesse Pinkman. So, yeah, Man, Mini 3 Pro. You know what's cool though with the Mini 3 Pro, you know, you get that's what the marketing campaign was all about. You can do the landscape video or photo modes. I would say, you know, because I'm old, I got gray hair and I'm fat. But I would say the portrait mode is more popular among the younger social media demographic. You know, that seems to be the trend. You know, using tall and narrow versus short and wide for the video format. Portrait versus landscape. So, you know, the Mini 3 Pro can do that. You know, it can do the portrait mode. So that's going to be an interesting perspective from a drone. And again, I'm excited to field test that. That's going to be a very new and interesting aerial video and aerial photo perspective. So can't wait to test that out. And, you know, ultimately the battery life, you know, as expected, and, you know, everybody could speculate, but as expected, Mini 3 Pro comes with a standard capacity battery. But if you choose to purchase an extended capacity battery, and again, to be tested in the field, but it looks like it'll probably add about 10 minutes or so of flight time. So, but it also bumps it over the weight that it is with the standard capacity battery. So, you know, be aware of that if you're getting into Mini 3 Pro because of the weight, then you would probably not want to use and keep in mind the standard capacity battery, again, to be tested when I received mine, but the battery life looks phenomenal from it. So I don't think I'll bother with the extended capacity batteries. And then you can also recharge with USB in the field. Let's see. Bander says, so no screen on the controller. Is this some new type of controller? I didn't look closely at the website. Okay, so you can check it out going over to my website, epicdroneshow.com, but I'll tell you all about it. So Mini 3 Pro, there's two different versions. You can get the one with the RC, so it's the controller that has the integrated screen, or you can, so I got the one with the DJI screen because thoroughly review the top spec, the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So the one I've got coming has the DJI screen in the DJI controller. So I don't have to use my iPhone and attach it to the controller. I just use the controller with the integrated screen. So, you know, that's going to be cool. Jake says, let's see what Jake says here. Jake says, we aren't sure what caused the fire at the construction site, but the she fire was caused by a lawnmower exploding. We don't know what caused it to explode, though I'm thinking it was fuel. It's a good possibility. That is a good possibility. Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah. So the Mini 3 Pro comes in several different things. And actually, you can buy it without an RC. And that's something I need to research. I've been working on a few other research projects, and I haven't unveiled all the details yet, but I want to research and see if you choose to not get a controller with the Mini 3 Pro. I wonder if that implies that it may be compatible with an old controller. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating. And Mini 3 Pro, if you're not aware, it uses OcuSync 3. Thing's a beast, man. It's a beast, and it's so small and so lightweight, and you can recharge it with USB. Jake says, shed, I should say darn, autocorrect edit again. Gotcha. So Jake was talking about the shed fire. The shed fire, not the she fire. The shed fire. Just to clarify what Jake was typing there. The birds are chirping. The birds know that the Mini 3 Pro is on its way. Yes, they do. It's gonna be crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, looking at and obviously fly line of sight to be safe and responsible, but the stated range on paper of that Mini 3 Pro is insane. And obviously I would never put it to the test, but, well, out over open ocean probably, international waters. But yeah, I mean, that range, man, you know, if you've got that range in the specs, if you're just flying at normal range, you know, that enhances peace of mind that at normal flying range, you know, visual line of sight, that the FPV video transmission and controls too will likely be rock solid, because it's not anywhere close to the maximum operating range of that drone. And just keep in mind, just because a drone is capable of a certain range doesn't mean that you're allowed to test that range. Now again, when I'm out in the boat, international waters, and take a drone out, you know, in that situation, I may get a wild hair and be like, man, there's nothing around here but a bunch of fish under that water. You know, I'm gonna see how far this drone can fly. And I've done that. Done that a lot of times, man. Launched off a lot of boats. But let's see. We got Jim. Oh, Jim is here. Jake says, the homeowner of the shed said he was working on his lawnmower when it caught fire and blew up or something. He didn't know either what happens exactly, but he thought that's what happened. Wow. Hope everybody's okay, man. The lawnmower in a shed and a fire. That's kind of freaky. Freaky. So, Jim, what do you think about the DJI Mini 3 Pro? Has it got you all excited and you feel relieved that it actually released today as we had speculated? I mean, it wasn't that hard to predict because, you know, DJI did put out the little teaser. But unless you realize that the teaser was referring to the drone's ability to, you know, film in photo and portrait mode, a lot of people may not have realized what was coming. But, you know, there's a lot of smart cats on the internet, and they figured it out. So we were right. 5/10 of 2022, a day that will be remembered because that is when the DJI Mini 3 Pro was released. Big day. So the bigger day, though, will be when it arrives and it's out of the box and it's up in the air and everybody's watching videos and asking questions, because that's where it gets fun. That is where it gets fun, man. Jake says, let's see, Jake says, he told us he turned his back and heard a bang and there was a fire, and he called the fire department right away as it got out of hand real fast. Smart dude. You see fire, you call the fire department. Was smart. That was being proactive and safe. Speaking of safety, did you know that the Mini 3 Pro has forward, backward, and downward facing obstacle avoidance sensors? Did you know that? It's amazing that they managed to pack in the obstacle avoidance sensors and keep that weight down. And it makes you wonder, why did they not use that extra weight that they shaved off to make the obstacle avoidance sensors fit? Why didn't they use that and put a 1-inch sensor camera on it? But even though it doesn't have a 1-inch sensor, the stuff on paper suggests that the low light performance of Mini 3 Pro is going to be phenomenal. So stay tuned for that. That's one of the things I want to test, because that's where Air 2S, because Air 2S has a 1-inch sensor camera, that's where it really shined, was in low light. You know, you didn't get graininess in low light. You got very clear sunset videos and that sort of stuff. With a smaller camera sensor, the graininess may be more pronounced. So we'll see, though. You know, on paper, it seems that the engineers were aware of that and were touting the Mini 3 Pro as a strong performer in low light filming conditions. So we'll see what happens. Jake says, plus he was concerned about his home. I'd be the same way if it happened to me. Yeah, definitely. You got to be concerned about that, man. I mean, that's important. You know, you shouldn't, your shed's on fire. If your shed's close to your home, you better be ready. You did the right thing, man. He called the fire department. Jake says, some military drones, I have special features on them that automatically allow them to avoid obstacles and dangers. Cool. Yeah, I bet they've got, a lot of this civilian drone tech was, a lot of it was kind of, military technology in the past. And they declassified it and put it out for civilians to enjoy. And just wait till we get the reverse engineered extraterrestrial technology. Can you imagine that in a drone? Can you imagine once they declassify the all of the technology that's been collected from the extraterrestrials, their airplanes and that sort of stuff? That's going to get really interesting. Drones that can go invisible, make no sound, drones that can hop within microseconds from one location to another, drones that don't require traditional battery power. I mean, there's going to be some interesting stuff. Jake says, but since I'm a first responder, my training would kick in and I'd start trying to put the fire out before the fire department showed up. Well, that's smart. You gotta, seconds count, when you're in a situation like that. So it's important to be aware of that. Yeah, that is super important. Yeah, man, Mini 3 Pro. I mean, again, it's easy to talk about something until it's in your hands. It just released today. So until it's in your hands and you see what it can do or can't do, it's just a bunch of speculative speak. But now, at least today, DJI revealed the specs on paper, so we can brush up on the specs on paper and develop a somewhat realistic expectation for how this drone may perform. And what are the aspects of the drone that make it exciting, There's a lot of stuff like that that we'll just see. We'll see how it comes together. But man, yeah, I'm waiting on that. I've already got my notification it's about to ship, so I'm just waiting on the tracking number, because that's going to be the that's going to be the big thing. Once it ships, once it's en route to my location, that's when things are really going to get exciting, man. But again, small drone, excellent battery life, option of having the DJI controller with the screen, which is one I got. It's just going to be great. And if it's not, you'll see what it is here. Like I said, I never have and I never will sugarcoat the performance of any drone. There's back in my drone videos, you'll see some that I wasn't too deeply impressed with. Jake says the Black Hornet drone Nano drone is virtually silent while operating in the field. It makes no noise whatsoever. It's also so small that if needed, could fly right up to an enemy soldier. Okay. And Jake says, then eavesdrop on their conversations and report back to base. Now, that's interesting you've made that point, because, most, at least I'm not aware of any drones, commercial drones don't have audio recording. So I think there's a lot of countries that are paranoid when it comes to like spying or whatever. But I wish that drones did have, and wouldn't have to be good quality, but I wish they had audio along with the video, because what you could do, you know, especially in drone review scenarios where you got multiple cameras, you can use that audio as a point of reference to synchronize all of your video clips. So that would be a reason for, you know, a microphone on a drone's camera would be to capture audio to be used. Yeah, that was weird. Let's see. I said that was weird. I got a little disconnection, and it's weird when you start talking about, you know, declassified extraterrestrial technologies, you know, like propulsion and stuff like that. It's funny how it's just interesting that, you know, my phone all of a sudden lost its signal, and now there's sirens going off. It's really really weird, man. Yeah, if you think that you know, people aren't always listening, you're wrong. I mean, you start talking about certain topics and it makes people nervous. You know, you start talking about reverse engineered extraterrestrial propulsion systems, and people really get freaked out. Jake says that is military use it now, and I have okay, Truth Seeker, the U.S. military, I should say, is what Truth Seeker said. I mean, what Jake said. Truth Seeker, hey, yeah, welcome, Truth Seeker. We were correct. The truth is that DJI Mini 3 Pro did release today. So, Truth Seeker, you just tuned in. I let everybody else know I've ordered it. I've got the one with the screen. And as soon as my DJI Mini 3 Pro arrives, as soon as it arrives, I will be doing an unboxing. And then I will be doing a first time in the field. And then I'll be doing thousands of videos to respond to the many questions from the subscribers here on the Higher Skies Adventure channel. So it's going to be a busy next few months. When is your shipping date? Well, I haven't gotten the ship notification yet, but it should ship today. So, you know, as soon as it does, I'm going to start ninja tracking that package and be ready to collect it from the delivery person. Isn't that right? Yep. Be ready to get out and meet and greet. They'd be like, what's in that box? And I'll be like, you wouldn't want to know. EpicDroneShow.com. Go to EpicDroneShow.com. Click buy a drone, very bold at the top. That's my website, and it helps me if y'all choose to shop there, and it just links into authorized dealer. So, highly encourage. And then Jake says, but if you bump into the drone, it hurts when those little blades hit your face. Yeah, that would be a bad way to go, man. Get like a. That's why I've never, you know, and maybe I'm an idiot, but I never hand caught a drone. I saw many people doing it, especially back in the Phantom days, and people were like, "Man, what are you doing?" You know, I'd get out on small vessels at times. Sometimes they were bigger boats, but a lot of times just smaller vessels, and I would land the original Phantom 1 on the front of a boat with a lot of waves. People are like, why don't you just catch it? And I'm like, well, drone, it's not like it makes it cool. Caught my drone. It actually makes it cooler if you can land it in a challenging environment, because that was piloting skill. All that attempting to hand catch a drone, even if it is successful and you don't get caught up in the propellers, all that demonstrates is that you don't lack confidence as a drone pilot. You need to get out in that field and practice, because you need to improve your piloting skills, your drone piloting skills. Because if you don't, you know, you're not a proficient drone pilot. You know, always practice. Practice makes perfect, as they say. So, you know, it's developing that situational awareness is so important, because when you first enter the virtual cockpit and you're flying your first drone, obviously in a safe and responsible location, but when you're first flying that drone, you don't really understand that when the drone goes away from you, and then when it's coming back towards you, that the control stick's different. So you've got to mentally prepare yourself for being in that virtual cockpit. And that's what I tell everybody that I teach how to fly drones. Imagine that you're sitting in a virtual cockpit and you are always in that virtual cockpit. But, in the case of a drone, you're standing in a stationary location. The drone goes away from you, it goes towards you. But when it's going away, left is left. When it's coming towards, left is right on the stick, it's the opposite. So it's important to have that situational awareness. And, again, the way I illustrate it during my drone classes, how to become a drone pilot, is think of being in a virtual cockpit. And if you think of it that way, then you never get confused. Well, people still get confused because they experience, if you, a pilot, being a pilot, whether you're a drone pilot or flying a Cessna or Air Force One or a, whatever kind of plane. Welcome, Brad. Brad, did you get the Mini 3 Pro yet? Regardless of what you're flying, it's you got to be relaxed. And if a potential disaster occurs, you got to be able to react quickly and calmly. Oh, Brad says, which drone kit did you order? I got the one with the DJI controller with screen. What did you get? Jake says, however, the military Mavic and DJI drones are much different than the standard. They're quite a bit different from the standard drones. That's sure including the Black Hornet. I bet they are. I bet they're... Oh, Brad. Well, Brad, wait and see my unboxing and my field test videos of the Mini 3 Pro, because I bet you're gonna... Oh, you said, just got home, need to watch all the drone reviews on it still. Yeah, they should start coming out. I know it just released today, so hopefully there'll be some DJI Mini 3 Pro videos within the next few days. I know mine are coming as soon as mine arrives, and it shipped today. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully arrive very soon, because I'm ready to get it. I'm ready to share the experience with the entire world here on the Irish Guys Adventure Channel, Epic Drone Show, 400 or below, and the Drone Evangelist. Jake says, I even have a few large hand launch UAVs, like the Pointer hand launch UAV used by the U.S. Army and the Navy and the USMC. Cool. Yeah, I bet those are really high-tech drones, man. Really high-tech drones. Burning some calories, burned a few hundred so far, which isn't bad. I've had this catastrophic elbow injury, so I haven't been lifting weights for the past few days. I just want to make sure it's okay. Topeka, hello, is the MV Pro 249 grams like the old ones? Yeah, unless you choose to attach the higher capacity battery. So there's a higher capacity battery option for the Mavic Mini, for the DJI Mini 3 Pro, that adds, I think it's 10 minutes or so on paper, additional flight time. But if you attach that battery, then you push it over that weight limit. But with the stock battery, which still on paper sports incredible battery life, you keep it under that weight limit. So again, not a lawyer, not a member of the government, but that weight limit may reduce regulatory concerns in certain areas. Check with your local government. But so it's advantageous to not go over that in a lot of situations. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna stick with the standard size battery, and then subscribe, check out my older videos where I talked about I was getting harassed for flying in a field many years ago, and people were like, "Man, that's my field, dude," and I'm like, "No." And they were getting on to me, and they called the cops, and I just talked to the cops, and then the cops came out and flew drone with me. So if people harass me, then I'll be like, "Dude, it's 249 grams." They're like, "What's that mean?" I'll be like, "Look it up before you come harass me for enjoying and doing what I'm doing." So Topeko says, is the price increase? Yeah, there is an increase in price. And again, go to epicdroneshow.com. You can find all the bundles and the pricing for each. But yeah, it's more than the Mini 2. So, but you don't have to get the one with the screen like I did. You can get the one where you bring your own iPhone or Android. But well, guys, I'm gonna go in, edit some more videos, and stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already, because it's going to be a fun, extremely exciting, and educational next few days when that Mini 3 Pro hits. Let's see. Oh, so did you get to fly your drone with a police drone then? No, they didn't have a drone. They were coming out, They didn't ask what I was doing because it was obvious that, I'm just out flying a drone. And this guy was trying to be like Mr. Whatever and try to cause trouble. He called the cops on me. And, granted, I was driving around in the field in a truck and, having the drone follow the truck. But I wasn't tearing up the grass or anything. And I wasn't drunk, obviously. So, what was I doing wrong? Nothing. But yeah, it's going to be a fun next few days, and not just few days, but many weeks, as we tear through all of the features that Mini 3 Pro has brought to us. So subscribe, ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video, and comment below, what do you want me to review when I get my Mini 3 Pro here in a few days. Ask all the questions you want, and I'll try to address them all within upcoming Mini 3 Pro videos here on the Irate Skies Adventure channel, youtube.com/IrateSky. Thanks for the chat, and y'all have a good one.